Well, on to the US now, where millions are crippled by rare, record-breaking disasters, fire and snow. Americans are reeling from two natural disasters, while California is witnessing fresh wildfire in LA, prompting evacuation orders for over 50,000 people. The situation is polar opposite in Texas. A rare winter storm is disrupting lives in Texas, Florida, and Louisiana. The question being, what explains these extreme climate events? Our next story telling you more.
They say man proposes, God disposes. And for California, the story cannot get more literal. Weeks after multiple fires ravaged parts of LA, and just when things were starting to settle down, more fires broke out, raising hell. On Wednesday morning, a new wildfire erupted in the rugged mountains north of Los Angeles, which rapidly spread to more than 9,400 acres. Fueled by strong winds and dry brush, it sent thick plumes of smoke into the sky. In less than 24 hours, the fire had charred nearly 16 square miles of trees and brush. That's how fast it had spread. Through the day, the fire grew bigger and more dangerous, challenging firefighters in the region who worked overnight to contain it.
Our hopes tonight are that we are able to make further progress on the fire. Hopefully the winds will subside, our relative humidities will increase, giving us the upper hand on the fire. Typically, this is when we make the most progress on the fire, allowing us to go into the next operational period ahead of where we started.
Officials warned people in the Castaic Lake area of LA County that they faced immediate threat to life. To tackle the situation, authorities have reportedly placed more than 50,000 people under evacuation orders or warnings. Meanwhile, much of Southern California remained under a red flag warning for extreme fire risk due to strong, dry winds. But that wasn't all. Late on Wednesday night, another massive brush fire broke out near Los Angeles' Bel Air neighborhood, one of the city's most affluent regions. Aerial images showed the extent of damage. Helicopters were seen flying over the giant blaze, dropping water on the fire. The firefighters are overwhelmed, as all efforts are proving to be insufficient in the face of Mother Nature. These new fires have erupted even as the Palisades fire in Pacific Palisades and the Eaton fire near Pasadena are active still. The wildfires have continued burning block after block into ash and rubble. The Californian sky has turned orange from blue due to the fires burning all around. But nature, as you know, can get unpredictable, to the point that as LA reels under fires, parts of Texas, Florida and elsewhere are blanketed in thick snow, a rare snowstorm sweeping through south of the US. Drone footage from Wednesday showed streets of Florida covered with snow. The storm is historic. It has dumped snow at levels millions haven't seen before, bringing Houston and New Orleans to a near standstill over the past 2 days, shutting schools and businesses and disrupting public life. This is the seaside of Florida, where instead of water, one can now find ice and snow. What explains this? Experts say moisture from the Gulf of Mexico combined with a low-pressure system led to this massive, unprecedented snow cover. America is reeling under both fire and snow, albeit in different parts of the country, a harsh reminder that Mother Nature always has the last word. Bureau Report, WION.
Bangladesh is facing mounting economic challenges as both public and private investments remain stagnant. Experts warn that without immediate action, the country could plunge into severe economic crisis. Unemployment was a key driver of demonstrations last year that led to Sheikh Hasina fleeing the country in August, and the economist Mohammad Yunus becoming the country's chief advisor. But since the revolution, the situation in the country has only grown worse. At the end of September 2024, the number of people seeking employment in the country of 170 million hit 2.66 million, which is a 6% increase from 2.49 million the year before. This is according to the Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics. Well, the International Monetary Fund warned in September last year that Bangladesh's economic activity had slowed majorly while inflation remains at double-digit levels. According to planning advisor Dr. Mahmood, private investment has been stagnant due to political instability and economic uncertainty. The manufacturing sector, including the important ready-made garment industry, is struggling with disruptions caused by labor unrest and also financial constraints. The government's expenditure has also slowed down, with economic slowdown having a direct impact on employment. Young graduates are facing difficulties in finding employment, with 87% of the unemployed workforce being educated individuals in Bangladesh.
The country is going through such a situation that the young people are getting depressed. Personally, I'm also depressed about whether I will get any job at all. It's a secondary matter whether I will go abroad. That too may happen after 1 or 2 years. I want to do something within the country first, but it's not happening.
The private sector, which provides 85% of the country's jobs, is struggling due to low investment and rising operational costs. Meanwhile, the government is emphasizing tax reforms to strengthen public spending and create employment opportunities.
Every year, 1.7 to 1.8 million new graduates enter the labor force, but our private sector is not developed that much and there are not many new opportunities as well. It's not a problem of the last 6 months or the last 2 years. Rather, we are experiencing this for the last 7 to 8 years.
Well, experts warn that without a major revival in investment and economic expansion, the middle and the lower income groups will continue to bear the brunt of rising inflation, and Bangladesh's economic and employment crisis will only worsen. The question being, can the economist Mohammad Yunus revive the country's economy, or is it already too late? Indian actor and comedian Kapil Sharma has become the latest star in Bollywood to receive a death threat. According to the Mumbai police, Sharma has joined the bandwagon of stars like Rajpal Yadav, Sugandha Mishra and Remo D'Souza, who have also received threat mails in the past few months. An FIR has been registered with Amboli police against an unknown person. Officials have said the threat email was sent from Pakistan. The email read, and I am quoting here, "We are monitoring your recent activities and we believe it is important that we bring to your attention a sensitive matter. This is not a publicity stunt or an attempt to harass you. We urge you to treat this message with utmost seriousness." That's what the email said. The sender signed off as Vishnu. Officials have further said that a reply from the star was demanded within 8 hours if they wanted to avoid facing consequences in their personal and professional lives. Now, at a time when a line of Bollywood stars are facing several threats, Mumbai police has informed that they are probing into these complaints with utmost urgency. Last week, an intruder attacked Saif Ali Khan at his Mumbai residence. The actor was stabbed 6 times and suffered grave injuries as well. During his interrogation session with the Mumbai police, the alleged attacker had revealed that he initially aimed to attack actor Shah Rukh Khan but was unable to enter his home. And that is due to his high security measures. Our top story tonight is about America. The United States is constructing a massive embassy in Beirut's Lebanon, a $1 billion fortress in the heart of the country, overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. This new American embassy will be the second largest in the world, following the one in Iraq. You see, even before the construction of this embassy is completed, questions are being raised. Why is the U.S. government spending $1 billion of American taxpayers' money? That also on a new embassy complex in a country with only around 86,000 Americans. After all, Lebanon is a relatively small country. Its entire territory is just a narrow strip along the Mediterranean coast. It is also a region frequently subjected to attacks. Is this just an embassy being built, or is it more of a fortress designed to conduct secret operations in West Asia? Well, we are not asking these questions. Former British diplomat Craig Murray has published a video asking about this massive American project. The video is titled, "What the hell is that?" Have a look.
States Embassy complex here in Beirut. And what you're seeing there, that massive range of buildings, that's only a part of it. That's about a quarter of a new complex. It's being built here. That is the second largest embassy in the world, of any country anywhere in the world. The second largest embassy in the world is being constructed here in Beirut by the United States. And we can't find out officially from the State Department, but we understand that the complex is built to house 5,000 staff.
An embassy to house 5,000 staff. Murray says that the unofficial word on the street indicates that the under-construction American embassy will accommodate 5,000 staff members. Well, according to reports, this new embassy is built in the suburb of Afkar, which is around 16 kilometers from the center of Beirut, that is next to the site of the current embassy. The compound, which has been under construction since 2017, looks more like a city of its own. Sprawling over a 43-acre site, the complex is larger than any government facility in Lebanon. For context, it is about 10 times the size of the one in Nine Elms, London, almost 2.5 times the size of the land the White House is built on, and almost double the Pentagon size. Well, no specific reason has been offered for building such a huge structure in Lebanon, and that also about 100 kilometers from the Lebanese border with Israel. He mentions that he used to be an ambassador and understands how embassies operate. He then asks, doesn't the idea of an embassy this big with 5,000 staff members seem a bit excessive, especially for a small country like Lebanon? What kind of an embassy requires the construction of thousands of acres of land? Well, to get more information, WION reached out to Craig Murray himself. Our correspondent Ghadi Francis sat down with the former UK diplomat, and here's what he had to say. Take a listen.
It's like no embassy I've ever seen. An embassy, a very large embassy, something like the British Embassy in Washington or the Russian Embassy in Washington, will have a maximum of 400 people working inside it. This building, this series of buildings, is being built for 5,000 people. And there's nothing in the functions of an embassy which requires that number of people or that extensive a series of buildings. And Lebanon is a tiny country. It's the size of Connecticut or Yorkshire. It has a population of 5 million or a little more. And this is the second biggest embassy in the world. Why are you building the second biggest embassy in the world as the embassy to a tiny country? The whole official story makes no sense whatsoever.
In the video Murray posted on YouTube, he speaks with Leela Hatum, editor of the West Asia-based digital outlet called MENA Uncensored, who calls the project the biggest secret in Lebanon.
What kind of an embassy is that that's built on thousands of acres of land? It has underground dungeons.
Yeah.
That includes detention cells. It has basically what you call pathways underground that lead to the sea, because that's where they have the other escape route. They do have their own helicopter pads, and basically they can fly to Cyprus in and out. And it's as if you're going into a fortified CIA barracks. That's it.
Well, according to the journalist based in Lebanon, America is building a fortress of CIA cells and detention centers. This fortress is intended to run secret prisons, spy on Lebanon and the surrounding region, and also serve as a hub for flights to Cyprus. Hatham further says that this facility is not an embassy, but rather a fortified CIA base. Is that truly what it is? A spy fortress equipped with underground cells and detention centers? If so, what are America's plans for Lebanon and West Asia? You see, the US State Department says that the primary purpose of any embassy, it is to help Americans in a host country. However, Khartoum contends that this huge embassy is designed to further what she describes as a project of hegemony. She claims it will help America exert control over Lebanon and the region as a whole. Now remember, Lebanon has been the target of repeated bombings and terrorist attacks by Israel, especially late last year. The country is currently in a fragile ceasefire with Israel, which has been consistently breached through Israeli bombings of civilians north of the Blue Line demarcation, a line intended to serve as a border with Lebanon. Despite the truce, Israel has damaged and destroyed hundreds of buildings in Lebanon. That's within the first 40 days of the ceasefire. The IDF also reportedly set up various positions across southern Lebanon. Moreover, let's not forget the Israeli and American-supported Syrian rebels who recently toppled the Bashar al-Assad regime in Syria. Following this, Israel reportedly took control of a major portion of Syrian territory along the Lebanese border. What then is the US planning to do in Lebanon? The country is home to only 6 million people. It is currently in the process of rebuilding after months of Israeli bombings. What is the purpose of such a huge embassy? Craig Murray suggests that it will merely facilitate a shadow Lebanese government. He claims to have worked in various embassies around the world, and he's certain that this building is not just an embassy.